It's time to ask a lawyer with Yasmin Young and attorney Robert Berkun on Power 93.7 WBLK.
All right, let's jump right on in. What is your question for attorney Berkun?
You worked for a company that was in the city, but the company wasn't doing their job legally, which then got you kind of caught up into like an investigation because the company wasn't being truthful, and then now they're investigating you and everybody that works for them.
Okay, so just so we can make sure that we're clear on your question, a company that you previously worked for was doing things that violated the law, and because of that, all of the employees, including you, are under investigation, and you are wondering if you need to retain your own personal attorney due to this situation.
Correct.
Well, first you need to know that you never have to speak to the police. You can always say, I don't want to say anything. You can say, I would like to speak to a lawyer, which is probably the best avenue to take, especially if your company is being investigated at that time. And you could have some knowledge that you don't know you did anything wrong, but maybe the company did, and they gave you some paperwork that may indicate you did something wrong. So you have to be very careful. So the best avenue to take is ask for a lawyer, have the lawyer communicate with the police, and find out if you're a subject of that investigation. That will protect you from possibly getting even further involved in this matter.
Hello, what is your question for attorney Berkun?
Okay, I've been separated from my husband for about 11 years or more. I just found out where he is, and I want to know, how do I do about getting divorce papers?
So your question is, how do you get him served now that you finally found out where he's located?
Right.
What you do need is you have to serve someone papers, and the papers would be something called a summons with notice for an action for divorce. But in those papers, along with just a notice, you need something called a status quo order. And a status quo order is basically saying nothing should be changed once these papers are served, such as don't have anything drawn on the bank account. Don't sell a car. All of a sudden, don't sell the property. You can't do that because the other spouse has interest in that property or the bank accounts or the car. So that's called a status quo order. Also, along with the summons with notice, there should be a notice of spousal guidelines. This is a maintenance calculation, and this is a guideline to the court. While to the court, it's not mandatory, but it would be mandatory when it is served with that summons with notice. And to get everything started and served, first you have to buy an index number through the court. So if this matter was in Erie County, it's normally $210. You buy an index number. Then you have to give the papers to a process server. The process server, which also will be a fee, would serve the papers upon your spouse. And that's how the action would start, within 20 or 30 days, depending how he was served at that period of time. I would suggest it's very difficult to do this without a lawyer. It's something I would highly recommend. Whoever you do get, you should definitely get a lawyer. It's just too difficult to do it on your own.
All right, so this last question came in via WBLK.com from Joelle, who says that I have 3 women neighbors that are bullying my mentally disabled daughter while I'm at work. They call her names and mock her hair. What can I do legally to prevent these women from harassing my daughter?
Joelle, I'm really sorry for your situation. That's a really terrible thing to go through for you and your daughter, and those are some mean people. But I would think to get the point across, what you should do is you should call the police. And if the police don't charge the people, I think just the presence of the police could scare them to stopping this harassment. The next step would be possibly for the police to charge them with harassment, a violation of harassment, and get an order of protection from the court to stop this. And in most cases, that will usually take care of the problem. From my experience of being in court, it usually does. There are exceptions, but people usually get the point across to stop the harassment, and usually things will end at that point.
For more in-depth consultations, you can reach Attorney Berkun's office at 716-856-4080 or robertberkun.net. Submit your questions at WBLK.com.